Hello, welcome back to Sacred Vapes. Channel aims to bring you the views and experiences of products on the market today, brought to you by an average vapor. Now this week, I've got something that, it's a little bit of a strange product, mainly because it's from a company that, going back about, 3-4 years ago, absolutely massive on the market. You know, I've brought something of theirs recently, and this could potentially be the start of something special. It's this, the Eleaf iStick mix kit. Now, Eleaf, I say when I started vaping, they were a massive company, mainly for box mods. You know, they made the Eleaf 50 watt, absolutely fantastic device way back then. So it was a bit of a surprise to me. You know, over the years, you kind of just forget companies. You know, there's a few companies from back then that just faded away, and Eleaf seemed to be one of them, but they never went away. And unfortunately, the products necessarily haven't been up to the same quality as what you normally buy, but potentially this could be something that is the start of something special. But before we get into all that, let's give her a vape. First and foremost, what you get in the box. Well, there's the packaging design. It's a nice, crisp, clear. On the back, you have your contents, information. Scratch card is on the side, and then you have your social media links. So yeah, nice and simple. This is down as the 2mm kit. You can also get it in a 6.5mm. But we'll get talking about that later. So there's the box. Inside there you have your mod and your tank. As always, mine's next to me on the table. Now inside the box you get spare O-rings. You get a little attention card, spare glass, which is the 2mm, warning card again, USB cable, and you get 2 coils. Now I've got one coil to hand here. I'm just gonna. Now that is, it's the MW M2 and the HW M2. Now that's had plenty of use, as you can see, but they're both rated 0.2 ohms, recommended both between 40 and 90 watts. Now we'll get talking about the tank and the mod. Now the mod is a dual 18650 battery device. Just get her open. There you go, battery ribbon inside, magnetic battery door. There we go. Now it comes with 2 designs on it. It comes with the resin design, and it comes with the IML design, which is the printed plastic. Now the mod is overall is plastic, but it feels quite heavy. But yeah, room on top, I'd say only about 25mm there before you're going to get any overhang. You have USB port. Now that's a USB-C port, which means you can use USB connections up or down. And yeah, there's your screen. Just turn around. So you've got your wattages, resistance, battery indicators, and volts. And you have a fire button, 2 navigation buttons. Operate this device nice and easy. 5 clicks. Goes off. 5 clicks. And it's back on again. Now there is a lock function. If you hold the 2 navigation buttons down. There we go. That locks the keypad, but you can still fire. So hold them down again. There we go, and it's unlocked. Now the menu system, again nice and simple. 3 clicks. And you get into this weird menu system. You have variable voltage, you have 3 memory modes, and then you have your 3 temperature control modes. Now the temperature control mode, just get one up, just go straight into the temperature. There's no other options, and that's about it for, just get back out of that. And that's about it for the mod. So it also comes with balance charging inside the device as a feature, but as I always say, always charge your batteries with an external charger instead. Now get onto the tank. Now the tank's called the Ello Duro Pop, which is kind of like a successor to the old Ello Duro tank, which I know was quite negatively received. It comes, now this is where I said a talk about it. It comes at a 6.5mm capacity and it comes at a 2mm capacity. Now my box says 2mm. The problem is, looking at the designs of the tanks online, this is more of a 4mm design, which sounds really strange to say, but it's not bubble glass and it's not curved in, so it's just, I'm assuming it's about 4mm anyway. If it's not, then it's bloody fantastic. But yeah, bottom adjustable airflow. You have a matching resin style replaceable A10 drip tip. Now the fill hole, if I can just find it, there we go, it's a red arrow. Now how you get to the fill hole, it's on a spring loaded connection. You pull up and pull back, and there's your fill hole, and then when you push it back, it just snaps back into place. And you'll notice these lines going across the tank. They're there for added protection on the glass. Now the coils, as I mentioned, 0.2, 40 to 90. There's not much difference in the mesh coils. They're both mesh strip. I think one might be finer than the other one. The cotton is designed to be porous, and the other little feature with the coils is that they're meant to be self-cleaning, which is I've mentioned it on a few tanks now. The idea is it's meant to clean the tank, but really it's just utilising the juice a little bit more effectively than a normal tank. But yeah, it's 25mm, and that's pretty much everything. So we'll get talking about the kit now. And it's an interesting kit, to be honest. I didn't expect too much from it. I've been using it for the past couple of weeks, and I've got to be honest, it has surprised me. But we'll get into the pros and cons of it now. Now the first pro with me, pardon me, the first pro for me is going to be the mod design. Now, people may not be a big fan of this 2 style design with the IML and the resin. However, I honestly think it adds something a little bit different. You know, if you look at something like the drag, you know, on this design, you'd have the word drag written on it, and on this side you have your resin. So I don't think it makes that much difference. For me, I absolutely love the design of it. The fact that the drip tip matches the resin, it feels really nice. Next pro, leading on to that, is it feels really comfortable in the hand. It's actually quite small for a dual 18650 device. It's not really as small as something like the Arc-Kiss or the Proton, but for a box mod, it certainly is smaller than you would expect. So it fits really comfortable in the hands, and you know, the button placement, you know, nice and comfortable there. You know, it's a really responsive device, as you can hear. You know, just how quick it goes from off and on. So I've turned that off. I can't vape, as you can see. Turn it on. That's how quick it is. So yeah, I can't remember the name off the top of my head for the chipset. It's the same chipset that Wismec use at the minute, begins with an A. It's just name escapes me. But yeah, it's that chipset that you're using. So yeah, it's really responsive. It's accurate. You know, I've used another tank on top of this mod. I was getting the 80 watts come through, so it is an accurate mod. At least for the power. Next Pro for me has a nice weight to it. It does feel a little bit heavy despite the size. When I first got this, I must admit, my first impressions were a little bit negative. I just thought, oh, it's a plastic mod. But honestly, really, really good design. It's the added weight that you get into, especially when you put your batteries in, makes it feel really solid, and you kind of start to forget that it's a plastic mod. So next Pro for me is going to be nice clear screen, no complaints there. Battery life on this really good actually. It's over a day worth of use with the dual 25 hours, which puts it better than things like the Shogun. It's still under the very best on the market, but I've been using this day and night. Been fantastic. It's I haven't been able to charge my batteries until the next day, so yeah, big fan of that. Now we're going on to the pros of the tank now, and the first pro for me that I can really talk about is the flavour. It's a really fresh vape. As a result of that, the flavour isn't as intense as you would want, but yeah, it's a really nice fresh vape. The Coil Life on these, another big pro. 2 weeks. In fact, you'll see how black that coil is. That was kind of my fault. I used a chocolate donut liquid in there thinking, oh, it'd be fine. And then that was the end result of it. So, yeah, you're going to get a 2 weeks out of a coil, which is a big improvement from the old Ello Duro coils. At 80 watts, it is a nice vape, as you can see. Nice vapor production. Now, when I mentioned before about the capacity, the juice consumption on this for the coils is fantastic. This is where the self-cleaning technology comes into it, because it's utilising the liquid really efficiently. So I'm finding myself filling this up only about twice a day, which is incredible for an 80 watt tank. This goes up to 90 watts. And for 80 watts, I expect to be filling that up a bit more. So, especially if it's only meant to be 2 mils. That's why I've got a theory that it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, next pro for me is going to be that child lock design. Again, nice and simple. Just the way it just pulls up. I'm pulling it in the wrong place there. Apologies. There you go. Nice and simple. No effort to it. But when it's in your pocket, it's not going to come open. So that's a big pro. I like the design of these glass protectors. I think it makes the tank look a little bit different. So, yeah, big pro. Next pro, airflow. Airflow in the tank is nice and wide. But it's not overbearing. It's not loud. And there's plenty of options to turn it down as well. Let's cut it like halfway. Does seem to get a bit louder the lower it goes, which is a bit strange, but yeah, plenty of airflow in the tank as well. So yeah, overall, the tank is a big improvement on the old style tanks that Eleaf have brought out recently. So we'll get into the cons of it now. And the first con for me is going to be, it's a little bit of a strange one. I can actually show you it. So this is a 79 watts. Now say for argument's sake your coil goes, or I don't know, whatever, you overfill it. Take the tank off. And then when you put your tank back on, so it's connected. Get her on. It's gone down to 30 watts. No idea, 30 watts. So that's a bit of a strange thing that you put in, and I'm guessing it's a protection that's in place to stop you firing a coil that maybe would be a lot higher than what you want it to be vaping at. So I can understand that, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good feature. Especially if you're just changing a coil or just wiping the top of your mod, you don't want to be turning it back up again when you do that. Next con for me, It's another little strange one, actually. It's to be honest, I'm going to put it into a general chipset. Basically, the chipset isn't advanced. You know, it's a very basic chipset, so the temperature control is very limited, as you can see, and it's going to be designed more for basic vaping. Now, another thing, see if it does it while it's on camera. See, it's really temperamental with that. See, it's really temperamental when it does that. Again, no idea why. It's just, chipset isn't fantastic, so don't be expecting a fine-tuning device. It's going to be very basic for you. But, as I said before, it is responsive and, you know, it is accurate when it comes to the wattage. Next con for me, moving on to the tank now. I say the flavour isn't that great, so that's definitely worth mentioning. Next con is going to be these glass protectors. Don't know if you can see there, but they're all coming off. So that's what, 2 weeks usage. It's all coming off. You know, they're not stuck on at all. They are literally, they're just kind of wrapped around, and then yeah, they're not going to last you very long. But yeah, other than that, in terms of cons, I can't really think of any, which is really surprising. Certainly not what I expected to be saying when I first got this. So we'll get into the overall of this now. And overall, this could well be the start of something special for Eleaf, mainly because, to go back to the basics, I mean, the NOWAS that came out at the end of last year, they went for something fancy, and it was meant to be decent, but apparently the life of the mod was only about 3 months. So the fact that they've reverted back to something as basic as a box mod, it works really well. It's not advanced, it's not something that you would, it's going to match a drag in terms of technology, but for something that's really basic, if you like this design, you want something, a box mod that's a little bit smaller than what's on the market, but is still external batteries, and I say, if you just like that design, then this could well be for you. You know, priced at around 35, maybe £40 at a push. You know, this could well be something that you would fall in love with. So it certainly changed my opinion using it. You know, would I recommend this to one of you guys? Yes, only if you want something simple, not if it's not too overpriced. As I say, that 35 to £40 would be a fair price, and that Ello Duro pop tank isn't bad for a kit tank. It must admit, it's going to serve you well. It might not be something that you stick with long term, but you're out the box about a month worth of vaping with it. You know, you'll enjoy it. So yeah, that was the Eleaf iStick mix kit. Right, next up this weekend, I'm going to be bringing a video a little bit different for you guys. So certainly go and check that out, because it's something that it's an idea that I'm hoping to be able to keep bringing to you in the future. I've got another review for you. We're probably going to come Sunday or Monday, and yeah, and next week I've got a few different things planned. So yeah, plenty going on the channel. As I always say, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. You know, if you like the video, give it a like. You know, if you want to see more of this, you know, click the subscribe. As I always say, stay safe and keep vaping.